Hello, how you doing? This is Vince Hughes with Steel Estimating Solutions. In this video, I'm going to do a full takeoff on a 3-story community college. And that's going to be from start to finish, the full takeoff. Put it into the Steel Erection Bid Wizard, get the price, get the schedule, task summary, schedule values. The project itself took me 1 hour and 49 minutes to complete from start to finish. So from takeoff to getting the complete price was a total of 1 hour and 49 minutes. This video is speeded up, so it's going to be quicker. Just trying to get you a feel of, I'm going to create a video series and just kind of get you guys a feel of what the power is of Steel Erection Bid Wizard and on-screen takeoff on all different types of complexity of projects. From simple warehouses to this 3-story building here, it's a community college, a little bit more complex. But just going to kind of give you the process, and that way you can watch it in a quick form and be able to see if Steel Erection Bid Wizard and on-screen takeoff is a fit for your company. I think that you'll see that it is, and I think you'll see that it really doesn't matter what the complexity is of the project. Steel Erection Bid Wizard can get you a price on that and be very competitive in doing so. And on-screen takeoff is going to get you that takeoff in a very, very quick fashion. So basically, I just went through and I set up all the, I verified all the scale was correct on all the takeoff sheets. Then I set up the detail sheets, and now I'm going through and just doing a quick count. Right now, you see me doing an auto count feature that's inside of on-screen takeoff. Really speeds up the process. The results depend on the quality of the drawings, of course, but it definitely does speed up the process and will count those beams for you automatically on the page. Of course, you still have to go through the page and look at it and verify that you did get them all the beams were counted. But it's just a way to speed up the process. And sometimes I will do an auto count, and sometimes it's just quicker, just depending on the project. It might just be quicker to go through and count it than mess with the auto count. But on this project, it was a good fit for doing the auto count. You see, I just highlighted that beam in red because it was like a 250 pound per foot beam. So just kind of quick call out to myself to make sure I got a crane that can handle that beam. And I'm not going to sit here and talk this whole time. This video is about 22 minutes long from start to finish. But I want to keep that whole video in there and allow you to see that full takeoff process, all the way from the export out of on-screen takeoff to the import in the Steel Erection Bid Wizard, where you get the price, schedule values, and just the whole process. I started using on-screen takeoff in 2002. Once I got it set up and then started developing the Steel Erection Bid Wizard around it, and over the years of the evolution of it to where it's at in its current form is a complete different animal back from day one. But I developed the Steel Erection Bid Wizard to work with on-screen takeoff because I went with digital in 2002 and wanted to figure out a way to simplify the takeoff estimation process where it's can just be foolproof. Really, you're basically doing that takeoff, building that job on the plans, and then going out in the field and building it in place again. And I guess one thing I want to say too is I'm putting this out there and want to do different complexity of projects because I know it's hard to go from old school type takeoffs. People are set in their ways, but the world has gone digital, and a lot of erectors still out there are doing pencil and paper, taking their doing their takeoffs on yellow tab and just doing it old school. And the world's gone digital, and the tools are out there to make that transition. But I know it's harder for the older generation to embrace the digital world, and some just won't do it. But we have a new generation coming into our industry that that are good with computers. And what I see a benefit of the Steel Erection Bid Wizard for a company to be able to take that estimator's knowledge and plug it in the Bid Wizard, make the Bid Wizard fit your company, add your own task, add your own production rates, but take that long-time estimator's knowledge, plug it in the Steel Erection Bid Wizard. That way, when he's ready to call it quits and retire, you'll be able to have a system in place and simply train somebody else to take that position over. So you just see me going to every detail. You'll see my second view window I have on the one screen. I wouldn't do that normally. I would have it on a second screen off to the left, but I'm putting the detail sheet on the main plan so that you can see it in this video. So it kind of slows me down really, because now I have to drag that detail view window back in every time, where normally I would just be looking left to right. And I'll say it again, you're better off spending the money on the large computer monitors. 27 would be the smallest I would go. 32-inch would be the best, and I would definitely say a 32-inch computer monitor is ideal. And the reason I say computer monitors is because the resolution is so much higher. A lot of people want to go get a big screen TV because they're cheaper and they got this huge screen. And the challenge is with that is, yeah, they call it high definition, but it's my experience when you put that plan on that big screen, it isn't as crisp because the resolution is high, so you don't get to see the plan all that clear. And the more resolution you have, the easier it is on your eyes to sit there and read that plan. So even if you had a big screen, you still have to blow the plan up to be able to actually read it, even though it's huge. That's why I suggest a 32-inch screen. Highest resolution you can get, it's like 2450 by 1650, something like that. And you'll be able to look at that plan just like you are sitting there looking at a plan on a table. And if you get an estimator set up that way, with two large screens like that, where he's not straining his eyes to look at it, he's not having to pan in and out so much, it makes a whole different ball game. And one thing I point out too, in the Bid Wizard, I've got right at 300 tasks, and of course you have the ability to adjust those tasks, rename those tasks, change production rates, do all that. But what I really want to point out is, you might see on a project like there's some HSS tube stills, some of them bolt for a curtain wall, whatever it may be. In my program, the mindset that I use, if it sets like a beam, hangs like a beam, I'm going to take it off like a beam. So I mean that by, if I had a HSS tube still on a curtain wall, I would take that off as a W21, something like that. If it welded on each end instead of bolted, I would probably jump it up a beam size to either, or go up to a blind category just to cover the weld on that. But of course you have the ability in the Bid Wizard to change that task, and you can make your own task calling it HSS tube still bolted or welded and get a production rate to it, and that way you're taking off exactly what it is on the project. To me, as long as I picked it up, I was happy. So if it just like another example, elevator guide rails, if it sets like a column, you could take it off as a column. Now elevator guide rail, and I would take it off as a blind column. And that would get me the dollars in that guide rail. Get me enough money in that guide rail off a blind column. But that's entirely up to you. You've got to look at the production rates that spits out inside the Bid Wizard and decide whether you want to do it that way, or if you want to create a task called elevator guide rails. I've said it in other videos before. I think the hardest part about going digital for any takeoff program is creating the conditions. And what I mean by the conditions is the beams, the angles, columns that you see on the left-hand side of the screen here that I keep clicking on and then going and counting. Because when you buy a digital takeoff program, it does not come built with those conditions. You have to build them. And what I do at Steel Estimating Solutions is I create that. It's called a plug-in. So if you purchase Steel Erection Bid Wizard and then you decide to go digital with on-screen takeoff, you would I give you that plug-in. You plug it in on-screen takeoff, and out of the box, you're ready to start doing a takeoff. I'm a reseller for on-screen takeoff. So if you like what you're seeing here, would love to work with you. This is how I put beans on the table for the family. But yeah, I would love to sell you a copy of on-screen takeoff. But with that said, I also integrate with 3 other programs, being PlanSwift, Bluebeam, and FabSuite, which are all great programs. FabSuite is more for a fabricator, and they do that fabrication takeoff inside of FabSuite, and then it pushes the erection portion out into the Bid Wizard, makes it real sweet. The fabricator just does one takeoff, and he's going to get his quantities for his erection price out of FabSuite to go into the Bid Wizard. PlanSwift's a good program. I just like the functionality of on-screen takeoff. It's been around since 1988. I think it's a Cadillac of all programs. Bluebeam is an amazing program as well. The only challenge with Bluebeam at this point is you cannot copy and paste, which is a huge time savings when you're doing a takeoff, when you have typical bays where you can take off one bay, copy it, and paste it in the other typical bays. But you can't do that with Bluebeam. I would say Bluebeam is probably about 75% of a true takeoff software. That wasn't what it was designed for. That wasn't its intent. But I tell you, Bluebeam has some amazing features, and it's much cheaper. But you don't get the full takeoff benefit. So in my opinion, a person needs on-screen takeoff and they need Bluebeam, because Bluebeam has some really good filled components and a lot of other benefits inside of it as well. Not a reseller for Bluebeam, not a reseller for PlanSwift, not a reseller for FabSuite. I partnered up with on-screen takeoff, and that's the program that I sell. And you can see as I'm going through, of course I do have the video speeded up, but you can see you can see me taking off deck right now, how much quicker you can just run through there. And doesn't matter the shape of the building, I got a exact square foot for that project. And I'll point out too, you're going to see me over, I put deck over top of the stairways and some of the openings. I don't cut those out, and I do that on purpose. I do that just to kind of pad the job. So if you wanted to, cut out those areas, you have the ability to do that in on-screen takeoff, do the takeoff, and then cut out those areas around the stairways. Myself, it just gets me a little bit more money, a little bit of padding in there. I guess if I was trying to get really tight and it was real competitive out there, I'd probably consider cutting that out, but I never did. I always just went over it and called it good. You can see on this what I'm doing right now. I'm up on the roof. There's bar joists, there's like areas. So I'll just take off a section. And this project has some X bridging, so I do count the X bridge and the joist in that one area, copy it, and start pasting in other like areas. And then go to the next page, just copy the X bridging, move it into place. And you'll just see how it just, speeds the whole process up. So you're not sitting there clicking away. And when you look at it from this aspect, when I talk about on-screen takeoff being copy and paste, and you don't have that ability in Bluebeam, you can see where that definitely, it would take you a lot longer to do a takeoff. And in all my advertisement, I always say I can save you 50 to 60% on your takeoffs and your estimates. And this, you're seeing it in real life. I mean, right now I'm doing a complete takeoff, detailed takeoff, and it took me an hour and 49 minutes to do the takeoff, upload the plans, put them in the system, do the takeoff, bring it in the Steel Erection Bid Wizard, get my price, adjust it, massage my bid, have my task summary built for me, broken out by area, which you're going to see here at the end. I break this whole thing out by area, by floors. And I also have the schedule built for me. My bid proposals are one-touch bid proposals. I can bid up to 10 general contractors at the touch of a button. So that's the process. And, you know, I don't know how long it takes somebody by hand to take this project off, but I know they're not going to do it in 2 hours, complete price with schedule built and bid proposals and everything made. It's just not going to happen. I'd say you're probably looking at 4 to 6, maybe 7 hours to do this takeoff if you're doing it hard cat. Now, granted, you could look at this job and say, with your experience, and do a square foot project, square foot the building, and say, yeah, it's going to be this much a square foot. Throw a price out there, which I did that in the past as well. Just throw a square foot price, look at it. Well, it's going to take this long. Throw a quick number at it. But the reality, we got away from that. We got the tool here to do it fast. And what I'm going to get out of this is I'm going to start creating data, and I'm going to be able to track exactly where where my money's going, where I need to improve on, where I might have, dropped the ball on it. Everything is trackable at that point. Where on a square foot price, yeah, you're out there, got a quick number out there, but to get any trackable data out of it, it's just not going to be there. And then on the back end of this thing is I'm in the process of it, creating a project management wizard, which is going to tell you in real time whether you're making money or not, which is going to be another benefit, because that's always a challenge. We're out there on the site. We don't know whether we're making money or losing money pretty much till the end. We can track our costs. We can know, see where our dollars are going and everything, but we truly don't know whether we're making money or losing money till we get to the end of the project. And the project management wizard is going to change that. Plus, it's going to have an equipment tracking feature, help you with payroll, help you with month-end billing, and going to continue to build from there. That's my goal, is to, I want to be the go-to guy for steel erectors in this industry, and that's, that's what I'm trying to do. We're almost to the end of it. I think we got about five more minutes, something like that. And that's another thing, you see me, marking all the details off. So you look at that detail, you take off the detail, and then, highlight the detail, and it's taken off. And that's on-screen takeoff. It's colored, it's counted. You can't go wrong. And it really doesn't take that long to run through, look at all the details, especially if you have that second screen up. Looking to the left, looking to the right, you're not flipping pages. You're just going to that detail window. Go to the detail. At the top of the detail window, you see a little drop down box, and you go down to that detail, select the sheet, and then just go to the detail. Makes it simple, fast. You see up here on this roof, there's a bunch of HSSs on the high roof. I'm just taking them off as a 16 to 21. Now we got all these moments that are the same, so just start copy and pasting those. Instead of clicking 4 times at each one, I just copy and paste, and just cuts down on the repetition. And once you get past the learning curve, it really is pretty simple. I mean, once you get past the learning how to get around it, and with me, I'm available to help you guys out, get you started, get you past that learning curve. I mean, that's the service that I'm providing, help you guys transition to going digital. And I tell you, once a person goes digital, they'll never go back. I started doing, like, say, in 2002, and after I got it down, I never want to see a hard set of plans again. Another thing we hadn't talked about, like on this project, let's just say this project was a 65% project. We're doing design build, and then they send me out 3 weeks later at 80%. I simply come in, take those 80% drawings, overlay them on these drawings that I just took off, and everything new comes out in red. So instead of me retaking that whole job off again, I just take off what's in red, and you know, we move forward. That right there is probably one of the biggest time savings features that I could possibly have. We did a lot of design build, and that was always a pain, having to keep on relooking at the jobs. So right now I'm setting up the areas. So we just did high roof. So you just type in the area, then select it, and then assign it to that area. And so now I've got all these takeoffs assigned by areas, which is sweet, because now my price is going to be broken out by area. So now I'm exporting it out, save it into the job folder. Then I go inside the bid wizard, create a new bid, go down to task. I've got to create the areas in the bid wizard before I do the import. And you see how quick that is, and then just go in and find the file, click import. It says well done, and now we got our pie. So you can see all these tasks that are in there. There's 300, and there's 0 tasks. So I have it where you can go inside the bid wizard and delete 0 tasks. So only thing you're going to see is the tasks that were in the job. I'm adding equipment right now. Real simple to add equipment. Of course, it's pre-set up that you set up inside the system. Add your crane, massage the bid a little bit. You can see where you can have different scales for different states depending on where you're at. If you work in multiple states, Bid Wizard makes it real nice because you can create many different wage rates wherever you want to go. And so now we're going to build the schedule. You go through, and you see the schedule's created. If that's adjustable, generate the task summary sheet, broken out by area, schedule values, so you know how much the beams are, how much columns are, all broken out. Creating the bid proposal, selecting 3 general contractors, can bid one 5% higher, one 10% lower. Now I've got 3 general contractors bid proposals created. And just showing the difference in the wage rates. But yeah, I hope you get some value out of this. You can learn more at steelestimating.com. See you in the next video. Have a great day.